knocked up, Carroll City.
Gulliver Prep.
Gulliver Prep, then Cardinal Gibbons, and then they knocked off Lakewood.
Okay, my bad. But yeah. They knocked off Carroll City, Gulliver Prep, Cardinal Gibbons, and Lakewood. That easily blows away what the teams that Bulls had to go through to get there.
And here's the biggest thing. On Bulls' schedule, who they face that's playing in a state championship game this year? Nobody. Booker T, who they faced that is playing in the state championship game this year? Miami Central, Miami Northwestern. All right, there you go.
Didn't they play Columbus as well?
I'm not really. Did they play Columbus this year? That's yes, they did. So Columbus. So that's 3 teams right there. Columbus as well. So that's 3 teams right there that they have played in a state championship game. So that's the big thing right there is that the schedule that Booker T has played. That's the whole big difference right there, and that's why I take them win big against Bulls.
All right. 5A championship between Miami Northwestern and Orlando Jones. I do expect this one to be a bit closer. Orlando Jones, they started off the season with that big win over Reigns in the backyard, and they've looked pretty strong this year. Their only loss came when they were banged up when they faced Edgewater earlier in the year.
By the way, that's at the graveyard, not the backyard. The backyard's league.
Oh, my bad. I can never get any of these right, can I?
No, it's all good, but you're right about Jones. Jones got that big win over Reigns. Reigns was a defending state champ. Reigns didn't really get far in the playoffs this year, and it was tough. We knew it was coming, but Jones has tried to get here. Jones, this is now their first time that they're going to play in the state championship game. They've got a running back, Avarius Sparrow. He's a huge guy. He's rushed for nearly 2,000 yards this season, 23 touchdowns. He's got quick speed. That's the key player that Miami Northwestern is going to have to be able to shut down. I mean, Miami Northwestern's got talent. There's too many players to single out from Miami Northwestern. I mean, that's the kind of talent they've got. And and Max Edwards, who's been incredible there for the Miami Northwestern head coach. This is going for their 3rd straight. Miami Northwestern was a 3 seed. Was actually a 3rd place team in their own district last year, and then won the state championship. But they won the district this year. Here they are. I mean, this is going to be for Miami Northwestern and for Jones. Jones has got a lot of heritage and history. I mean, they were the all black high school in Orlando for many years. So there's a lot of history there in terms before they were able to be in the FHA, because there's a lot of history there, and Miami Northwestern's got a lot of history too behind their stuff. And there's a lot, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, because this is actually a great game, and there's a lot of history, a lot of tradition, a lot of just what's going on that for a program like Jones that has been trying to get here, trying to get there, because they serve an area of Orlando that is, I would say, is it's not the best of the worlds there, but for them, this is something for pride of their neighborhood, for pride of getting to be here. And I expect, this been a camping world, you probably would get 10,000 at least, but I still expect them to bring a ton of people to Daytona Beach. Yeah, it's a 45-minute drive from Orlando to Daytona. I get it. But, for Miami Northwestern, the thing is that, for Jones, is that Miami Northwestern's been here. They've been here several times. They know what they're doing. They know what it's like. For Jones, this is going to be a whole new experience for them, playing in the biggest game in the school's 100-plus year history. I give the Jones Tigers credit. Elijah Williams has done a fabulous job in 4 seasons there. I just, for me, it's hard to go against Miami Northwestern. I've got to take the Bulls in this one. I don't have a score prediction yet, just in my mind, because I can't say that. I can't say a score prediction yet because it's not, that'll be part of the preview. But my pick's Miami Northwestern. This game, if the Northwestern can't shut Sparrow down, then yeah, it'll be a really close game. I mean, it'll be a really tight ball game. It'll be one of those games where the crowd will probably just go totally wild. And really be honest, I would rather have that kind of game, But at the end of the day, Miami Northwestern, just a lot of history, a lot of heritage for them, and a lot of talent. And I got to take Northwestern at it. Again, at the end of the day, it's a lot of heritage, a lot of history for Jones. For all the stuff that they have gone through as a school over the last 100+ years. When it came to, if you really look at the history, especially the fact, especially in the days of segregation before, segregation was banned, in schools, they worked hard to try to get to make the name of themselves. Now they finally have gotten there to that point, and it's, and for Jones, it's, You can't find another. This is another one of those stories where it's just hey, a team that's first time in the state championship game this year, and that's huge for them. And hats off to Jones getting to the state championship game for the first time. You can't find a better story than that right there in terms of a team like that has fought hard in Orlando to make a name of themselves, especially when you got the bigger brothers of Edgewater and Apopka that are sitting there too, but they're gonna be playing for the state championship games in their own right. So it's huge, and I can't wait to see what happens in that noon game on Saturday. Yes, that will be a huge game, and I expect the marching bands to be there. I expect it to be a full-fledged bowling game of proportions that if. Of a state championship game, like it will actually feel like a true state championship game, something that will actually feel like, hey, you know what, the crowd noise is going to it's going to be a factor on every single play, no matter which band is playing from what sideline. So that's the kind of feel I hope that will be the case.
You said you aren't going to do a score thing. Do you think it'll be a close game?
I think it could be close, but I don't want to say just yet.
Okay. And I will also mention, it would have definitely been easy for them to get 10,000 people if Jones had made it in previous years, because all they really had to do was walk across the street to get to their state, to the state championship.
Right. I mean, for all the years, it's been a struggle, but here it is. You finally make it the year that you actually decided to leave town with these state championships. But hey, it's hats off. It's still an amazing accomplishment for Jones to be playing for a state championship. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the final result comes down to on Saturday.
Before we move on to 6A, I'll go ahead and say, I have Northwestern winning a close one, 24-20 in the 5A finals. So I expect this to be a pretty good game. 6A, Miami Central versus Pensacola Escambia. This will be a bit of a drought for Escambia since their last appearance. But I was very impressed I had my doubts going into the playoffs just how good Escambia was. I watched their game with Lee, and I saw how they did against Tampa Gaither, who previously, Gaither gave up 14 points to Armwood. Escambia put up 45 on them, while Miami Central struggled and nearly lost the game to Palmetto this past this past game. I'm actually going to take an upset here. I'm going to take Escambia 24, Miami Central 21 in the 6A final.
Miami Central's got talent. That was a close game for them against Palmetto. Yes, Miami Central can be beaten. But I still go with Miami Central just because they've been here a little bit more often recently. Escambia, it's been 20 years since they've been there. But Escambia does have talent. A.V. Smith, Frank Peasant. They do got some talent. So I'm expecting a close game with this. That's my thoughts with that. It's pretty much it's almost close to being an even matchup. But Escambia hasn't won the state championship since when they went back to back in '84 and '85 under a little known now big known running back named Emmett Smith.
Wait. I thought they won in '99.
No, they didn't win. They didn't win it in '99. I don't believe. I don't. They went to the state championship in '99, but I don't recall them winning it in '99. But they did win titles in '84 and '85. I'm going to double check that right now as we're sitting here because I don't recall them winning it. I mean, I'll admit it if I'm wrong on here in just a moment because it's
also
it is what.
Also, I'll point out even though Escambia may not have been to a state final in a while,
Escambia lost that. Yeah, Escambia lost that game in '99 to St. Thomas Aquinas in Class 4A, and it was actually and that score right there, that was a 38-35 decision. That game was played at the University of Florida, but back in that day, and then of course, but for Escambia, so their two titles are 84-85 under the now knowing running back of Emmett Smith. And which but by the way, the school, the football field at Escambia is named after him. So
I remember that. I think they had like a Gator statue at the stadium too.
Yeah, I mean, so Emmett Smith has got a lot of history behind the Escambia program, but it's gonna be a close game. Got to just keep an eye on it and see what happens. I mean, but I go with Miami Central just because of experience. Even though it's been a while since they've been here.
Also, I will also add in, even though it's been a while since Escambia has been in the finals, it's not been that long for their coach. Mike Bennett was the head coach of Pensacola High in 2009 when they won the state title.
Right, in Class 3A that year. They won it against Belen Jesuit, won that title. So, he does have a little bit of familiarity with playing for a state championship, but his players don't. The school hasn't seen it in 20 years. So that's going to be a huge difference. I mean, you can even say a lot of these Miami Central players haven't played in the state championship game. So it could be interesting to see how it plays out on Thursday night at Daytona Stadium. So that'll be the 6A game will be a good one.
7A, St. Thomas Aquinas versus Edgewater. Not the matchup that many people expected this year. In fact, I think it was almost a foregone conclusion. Most expected it to be Lakeland and Aquinas in a rematch, but that's not what we got. Edgewater.
No, we got Edgewater. Who it's funny. It's funny about Edgewater is that Edgewater beats the team that beat Lakeland.
And in addition to that, I believe Armwood had like a 40-something game home winning streak in the playoffs that Edgewater came right in there and just blasted right through them.
Right, they blasted right through them. Edgewater, and this is Edgewater's first state championship game appearance in 15 years. So this is going to mean they went 3 consecutive years in 2002, 2003, 2004, lost those games. But here they are 15 years later, finally getting back in the state championship game. And, they've never won a state championship game in school history. But, could the fourth time be the charm for the Eagles? That's going to be huge because St. Thomas Aquinas is very talented, loaded. I would say this St. Thomas Aquinas team is even better than last year. And I don't think Roger Harriet's going to let it happen 2 years in a row under his watch, lose a state championship game, because otherwise, and I hate to say it, but people probably would run him out of town. In that situation, because the St. Thomas Aquinas, they just got this tradition. They win state championships. That's St. Thomas Aquinas for you. Kanan Mobley for Edgewater, yeah, he's great. It's like Isaiah Connolly, he's really good. But St. Thomas Aquinas, when you got over 2 dozen athletes with Division I offers, that's how do you match it? But then again, you can never say never. I got to say I'm taking St. Thomas in that game, so that's where I stand.
Well, if we look at who in the most cases, like in the state championship lately or like playoffs lately with Venice and Lakeland, I truly feel like they got out-coached in those games, which is what led to them losing. So the question is, can Edgewater out-coach Harriet? That might be what they might need to kind of level the field a bit. But even so, this is still a huge talent mismatch. And I still have I had doubts before the season with their quarterback, but then again, Zion Turner, even though he's not like an elite level quarterback, he's a solid quarterback, and you don't really need an elite level quarterback at Aquinas when you have those big dudes up front, when you have a loaded defense, and you can run the ball. and just wear teams down by pounding the rock. So
Right.
you don't really need an elite level quarterback to win titles there, which is actually the kind of, even though I'm not exactly the biggest Aquinas fan, I will say